Hi. Hello, it is ACAB True Crime. Today I am going to dive into a review of the Idaho 4 911 call that was made to report the initial crime that took place. And in this version of the video, or in this video, I am reviewing the 911 call at a slower pace, and I'm stopping and interjecting a little bit and making commentary, talking about some things I thought were surprising, also talking about like which voices I think are which, and then also just a regular analysis. So just a little bit of background about the video before we get into the recording part of this video is that it was, well, it's not really a video, it's a recording of the 911 call. And it takes place on November 13th, 2022 at 11:48 a.m. And it is made from 1122 King Road House, which is where the four victims of the Idaho 4 incident lived and were unalived, and also where the two surviving roommates lived and were calling from. So that was the actual location that the call was coming from. Pretty sure it was Bethany Funk's phone that called 911. There are various different voices that we hear in the 911 recording, and the individuals behind those voices allegedly are the 911 operator. Her name is Carolina Culver. Then there's the two surviving roommates that they are Bethany Funk and Dylan Mortensen. Yeah, and the thing that's pretty weird about these two women is that they were allegedly home when this crime took place, and the crime was believed to have taken place at like 4 o'clock in the morning. I think it might be 2 o'clock in the morning, and a lot of people think it might be. And they uh, didn't call 911 until 8 to 10 hours after, and that's just like makes a lot of people suspicious. Like, what were they doing? And it just is like a huge chunk of time that's unaccounted for. So that is another reason why I think a lot of people are wanting to analyze the 911 call just to see if they can try to hear for themselves, I guess, how authentic it might be or if it all makes sense. And I also, there's also two other individuals on the recording, and that is it's like a couple that lives across the street from the house, the Idaho 4 house, the King Road house. And that is a couple, and it's a guy named Hunter Johnson and a woman named Emily Alons. And they were called over to help the roommates in the morning. So they were there when they were calling 911 before. This is before they got there. They were called before 911 was called. So, and you'll see in like we go into the video that I tried to put name tags on the different voices or sections of the video, but they might not be all completely accurate. So just want to put that out there. And also just a heads up, the audio can be distressing. It is an actual recording of the 911 call. So viewer discretion is advised, and let's jump it. Okay, so now I am going to listen to the call again. And it's a little bit of a updated version or edited or enhanced version. It's by a YouTube channel called Jeff H. And I will link that in somewhere uh, in this video or description or whatever.
5 a.m. 42 second, November 13, 2022. 911 station of emergency.
Oh shit.
Something's happening. Something happening.
Okay, oops, I forgot to slow it down. So I'll just say right off the bat that it sounds like I thought that that was Bethany at first because it's supposedly Bethany's phone, but maybe it's Dylan calling from Bethany's phone. Like, I thought I looked at the transcripts and I thought that maybe they made a mistake and that it was actually Bethany and Dylan passing the phone back and forth. But now that I'm listening to it again, I'm like, maybe they got it right. Like maybe it is all Dylan. It's just she sounds so different here. Like, I mean, everyone's different, and everyone deals with trauma and just experiences things differently. It is, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. I can't really judge it, but yeah, I wouldn't say one way or another. I'm definitely not like, oh my gosh, this is for sure big call. And I'm not like, oh my God, this is for sure the real thing either. So, okay. So like I said, I think it starts off with, um, Bethany. And then she starts off with saying, like, hello, I think something happened here, or something's happening here.
Not how you don't know what.
She's like, something is happening, something happened in the house, and we don't know what. So that's weird that she would say that kind of because I guess you don't know the situation like leading up to this 911 call. But it sounds like to me that Hunter was the one that found everyone and realized that they were like, and we'll hear on this call, but he was the one that found them. So I'm just wondering how she knows that something's up and that something's wrong. Like I know that they had tried to call like and text people and like people hadn't been answering, but to wake up after 8 hours and then be hyperventilating before you even know if anything has happened besides just people like continuing to sleep in or something, or not responding to the night before, you'll see that she's tried to start explaining herself about what was happening the night before, which to me also seems like a little weird. You can definitely tell like the 911 dispatcher is like not amused. I don't know. I'm sure they deal with like some college people or like younger people all the time.
What is the address of the emergency? 112 Casper. What is the rest of the address?
So okay, right there kind of sounded like someone was like, go, go, get out or something. I think that's something like that there. Let me just rewind it a little bit. Oh yeah.
What is the rest of the address? Kings Road. Okay. And is it a house or an apartment? It's a house. Can you repeat the address to make sure that I have it right? I'll talk to you guys. We live.
Okay, so now this is the neighbor. So there is neighbors that live like across the way, and it is this girl named Emily. I can't remember her last name. It starts with an A. And I'm gonna get into them on my next video, just like more details about who these people are specifically. And she is dating Hunter Johnson, which is the male that is at the house, and that eventually gets on the phone with 911. So it sounds like here, EA, Emily, Hunter's girlfriend, and their next door neighbor is now talking to 911 because it's unlike, Dylan was like having, a breakdown or whatever.
The light show next to them. I
She's
need
smoking
someone
at the
to
house.
repeat the address for verification.
But she lives right next to them.
The address 1122 King Road. And what's the phone number that you're calling from? Oh, 3731. Tell me exactly what's going on. One of the roommates is passed out, and she's drunk once and she's not waking up. Okay. Oh, and they saw some man in their house last night. Yeah. And are you with the patient?
Okay, so that's weird. So she's like, I think it sounds like in the background, Dylan is talking, being like, no, yeah, like saying something about the guy, like seeing the guy. Hold on, let me go back real quick. And then she's like, "Oh yeah, and like you saw a guy in the house last night, right?"
Oh, and I saw some man in their house last night. Yeah. Heard that I went to t-shirt. Okay, I need someone to keep the phone, stop passing it around. And I just tell you what happened pretty much.
Okay, so now it sounds like Dawn is back on the phone because she wants to cover the bases of potentially why. I don't think anyone knows at this point that anyone is um, no longer alive. And I think we do hear Hunter find out. So it is kind of strange that she's like, I don't know. It just this seems strange to me that she would get back on the phone after she was like having a breakdown, even though they don't know what's going on yet, and then like to then get back on the phone again. I don't know. It's like
What is going on currently? Is someone tapped out right now? I don't really know, but pretty much beforehand. Okay, I need to know what's going on right now if someone is passed out. Can you find that out? Yeah, I'll come on the computer, I'll check.
okay, so there. It's like we gotta go check. So it's like sounds like they called 911 because their roommate's not answering the phone and they have their neighbors over. And she's like having a breakdown and freaking out. And then they're asking because I mean obviously 911 needs to figure out what to send to the address. Like do they need EMS? Do they need EMTs? Like just law enforcement? Like what do they need? So in order to determine that, you need to know exactly what's going on at that moment. And then later, like you'll fill in the rest of the blanks. Like you just need to make sure that you are giving life saving, you're addressing the like more dire issues at hand. So, but it's like Dylan doesn't really understand that. Like she is still trying to tell the story about why she's potentially this worked up and scared about why they aren't answering. Because I mean, why? I mean, even if I saw like someone in my house in black and my remotes weren't answering, I don't think I would like. I really don't think I would call someone. And I guess I don't know. I don't know what was happening earlier in the night because it sounded like they were scared, but it sounds like they don't know. So then she's like, "Yeah, we have to go check if they're passed out. Come on, we got to go check." So now she's like, gonna go check and see what's going on with the girls, like, or with the people that aren't responding. That's what they should have done in the first place, right? Like,
What we have here.
someone's like, "I'm not doing this." Like, no, we have to.
This is hospital. Oh, you. It's hideous.
Okay. So I think that was being like Dylan was checking somebody. She passed out, and then she's kind of like whimpering on the phone, and then you hear a guy in the background say Xana. So it sounds like he's trying to get Xana to respond, and then Dorn continues whimpering.
The door. It's not waiting up.
Okay, so she's like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" So it's like again, like, why are they calling 911 if they don't know what's wrong? And she's like, "Is she passed out?" But it's like, why is she crying if she thinks that she's just passed out? I mean, I guess people could say like she has like this underlying feeling or premonition that something really bad is happening, but I just feel like wouldn't you I don't know. I don't like again everyone responds differently and I am not gonna say that there's like any perfect victims, but I do think that it is kind of weird just the way that it is set up in terms of how they called 911. I mean, there's a lot of suspicious things like surrounding it. I'm not going to deny that. And I'm also not going to say that it's for sure fake either.
Like, just tell me what is not waking up. They're not feeling. Okay. One moment, I'm getting health shared that way. We'll be right here. Oh. Yeah. You can know that. No, I'm sure. You're invested. Okay, and how old is she?
Okay, so they're right there. I think it sounds like, she's kind of like hyperventilating again. They don't know anything. Hunter earlier said something like Xana, and then I think that was the part that just like they were like for Kaylee or something, and then you hear Hunter being like, "Get out, get out, get out!" Like it seems like at that point he realizes that he sees something that like solidifies the fact that someone's not like doing well, like Xana or Ethan is. I mean, he probably, obviously if they were like butchered, you would see that. So that I'm assuming that's where he saw it. So let's go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Please don't put out.
You can know that. No, I'm sure. You're invested. Okay, and how old is she? Wait. A lot of around. Honey, Ted. You're playing is welcome. Hello? Hello?
Okay, so I'm assuming now, since what's happening in the background was that Hunter found people that, were not looking great and that he knew were probably, I mean, he confirms it on the phone call here that she's not breathing, but Xana's not breathing. Which I don't know how he could have, I doubt he checked for like a pulse or like breath, but assuming he saw like a really grotesque scene, he would just assume that she wasn't. But again, like I don't know why you would assume that unless she was like completely white or something, or like rigor mortis had started to set in, which I guess like if she had uh, been not alive for about at that point, it was like potentially like 10 hours, 8 or 10 hours. So I guess rigor mortis would start to kind of, so yeah, maybe you could say that that's how he realized that. But then it sounds like Bethany's like, here, take the phone and gives it to Hunter. So then Hunter can tell the 911 operator like what the actual situation is. So that's what's happening.
Okay, I need someone to. Hello? Okay, I need someone to stop asking the phone around because I've talked to 4 different people.
Hey, sorry, they didn't give you the phone.
Is she breathing?
Hello?
Is she breathing?
That's weird. Like, I don't know what's going on with the phone on his end, but it seems like she's asking weird, like, it's like, she's like, is she breathing? And then he's like, hello. But that he can kind of hear. He's like, yeah, because he responded, yeah, they just kind of gave me the phone. And she's like, you need to stop doing that. And then he was like, hello. She's like, is she breathing? Hello. And then, because I feel like he maybe didn't want to answer. Like, it seems weird to me, but
No. Okay, Mom. Just stop.
No, she's not there.
That's me. Do I need you to pardon me, lady? I can't talk things bad, you park.
Where he goes, Bethany, Dylan, I need you to talk to them. I can't talk to them. Which is weird.
Hello. Okay.
So I'm not sure if that was, I think that's Dylan again, but I was thinking maybe it was Bethany, but I don't think Bethany ever gets on the phone.
Already sent the ambulance and law enforcement. They on the line. If there is a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it. Say that again. There's a police here right now. Okay. If there is a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it. We don't have to. What's this for? Do you have a defibrillator? Yes, we have one. Are you talking to the officer? Yes. Okay, I'm gonna let you go since he's there with you and can help you. Okay, thank you. Okay. Let's see.
11:59 a.m. 49 seconds, November 13, 2022.
Okay. So, any hoozles, what are people's thoughts? Like, to me, like, do you think Bethany's on the phone at all? Okay, well, that is the end of my part 2 of the breakdown that I'm doing on the Idaho court case and the 911 recording that was taken the morning that the victims were found. I think there's still, after listening to it and trying to dig into it, it still leaves me with a lot of questions and has me wondering, about its authenticity and just how accurate I am in my guesses and what's necessarily going on. I would like to see or know just exactly everything that was happening on that call. But if anything stood out to you or I didn't catch something that you want to mention, please feel free to drop it in the comments. I definitely want to hear other people's takes on this. And if you are following the Idaho court case just in general, I think that I will be going over some of the new documents that were dropped from over the last week or two, specifically about Brian Koberger and his mental health status and the paperwork that is talking about his autism spectrum disorder, my impression of his overall general psychological profile. I think going to be pretty interesting and right up my alley, specifically to cut some of my strengths and skills. So if you're interested in that, please follow me and stay in the loop. I think that will definitely be what I address next. So yeah, thank you guys for watching and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Sorry.